disc causes herniation of the nucleus pulpus through the annular tear. Inflammatory tissue develops within the annular tear, causing neck pain. The inflamed annular tear generates pain signals. Additional injuries can cause worsening symptoms. Inflammation from the annular tear can spread to the nearby nerve roots, causing arm pain.
Dr. Deukmedjian here on November 4th. We're performing the Deuk laser disc repair surgery on a patient who has traveled from Georgia. Now, this gentleman has really bad narrowing of the spine, and you can see it quite well at L3-4, L4-5. And that's due to herniated discs. So we're going to go in there and repair those discs. Remember, try not to move, okay? All right. If you feel pain, just say ouch, and I'll give you some more numbing medicine. So we're going to start on the left side. Numbing. Now, while we're doing the surgery, I'll be talking to my team as well as you, okay? And we're going to put you to sleep soon, but not yet. It's going to be about 10 minutes, maybe 15. Okay, I just gave you some more numbing medicine. That should start feeling better in a few minutes. So, just bear with me. Okay. All right, so we're a little higher than I want to be. Wow, is that rotated that much there at 3-4? You see that? How's blood pressure?
Coming down. It's hard to get down.
All right. Luis, you agree we're at 3-4? 4-5 there. You're doing good. Just relax. Everything's okay. Shot. All right. So I'm thinking... You're doing a really good job laying still. Thank you for doing that. Shot. I want to get down to the 3-4. And that's going to be, I'm sorry, 4-5. That's going to be the first disc right there, 4-5. Shot. All right, so I need to be a little bit lower. Now, I can usually fix 2 discs, shot, with 1 little incision. And that's what I plan to do. Shot. Are you feeling any pain? A little bit? But not a lot. Shot. All right, so we're going past the facet joint. Shot. And we're on target for the L4-5 disc. Everybody agree? Okay. Shot. Now this is right where one of his nerves are getting pinched badly. Let me know if you feel any pain anywhere than your back, okay? Gosh, I can already feel it. Let's get an AP. So we're entering the foramen on the left side at L4-5. Yeah, it's perfect. Okay, lateral. Everything's good, okay? Everything's going really good right now. I'm going to have you awake for about 10-15 minutes and we'll put you to sleep, okay? So our patient needs to be awake so he can help me. I need to get down to this disc without causing any damage to the nerves, and he can tell me if I'm too close. Shot? Do you feel anything in your back there? A little bit? Massive herniation there, massive. All right. Incision. So we've got 1 in place. We got 4 to do. Let me know if it's uncomfortable, okay? Make our 7mm incision. So it's all, we're going to do the whole surgery through a 7mm incision. I want to make sure we get a nice clean incision. Once you make an incision, it's no longer a percutaneous procedure, it becomes a surgery. A lot of people don't know that. But now we're going for 3-4. Can you show us 3-4? A little better. It looks like we got some orbit, maybe a degree of orbit we need to fix. And possibly some wag. Yeah, some wag. So the orbit's good, we just need to fix the wag now. Basically, we're using an x-ray machine to navigate. And to do that, we need to make sure the x-ray machine is quote-unquote calibrated. That's really good there, Jordan. That's perfect. So, huh?
Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for doing such a good job. Can we get the blood pressure down just a little bit if possible, doctor? Or you want to just wait till the propofol? Fine. Shot? That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Shot? That's perfect. You can actually see the herniation on that x-ray. Oh, see the one down below is even bigger. Look at the herniation. Oh, yeah, the one down below is even bigger. Shot? Are you okay? Maybe want to be a little bit higher than that. Shot? I'm right on the facet. I can feel it. So I want to reposition, redirect, slightly lateral. Shot? And I want to sneak in just underneath the exiting root and the lateral to the traversing root. So there it is. You can see the herniation in front of the tip of the needle. Show them the herniation there, Jordan. Yep, right there. A big bulge. So we're touching it right now. I can feel it. Any pain in your leg? Just your back? Just your back?
Yes.
Okay. How long have you had the back pain for? How many years? 9. Are you looking forward to getting rid of it? Okay. Shot? But you really want the leg pain gone more than anything. Right? The weakness in your legs. That's the main reason we're here. Shot? We are going to get rid of your back pain as well. Shot? Where do you feel that? All right, perfect. You're doing fantastic, by the way. Really, really good. Let's get some more numbing medicine. So the first step of this surgery is always to place what are called spinal needles transforaminally into the disc that we're fixing. And this is a minimally invasive surgery. It's the most minimally invasive spine surgery, honestly, in the world. Of course, you can do epidurals. That's not really spine surgery, though. But in terms of making an incision and doing a spine surgery, a real surgery, this is it. The smallest incision. In the back, it's 7 millimeters. In the neck and thoracic, it's 4 millimeters. So there is no smaller incision. And the whole surgery we're going to do through these tiny, tiny incisions. So there's no need for medular fusion. This patient doesn't want medular fusion. He wants natural repair of the spine so that his body can heal. We're going to give him that. We're going to give his body the ability, the opportunity to heal itself. Shot? All right, so I'm a little higher than I want to be in terms of my trajectory. I think I'm going to start a little lower. Give me some more numbing. You're doing really well, by the way. We're halfway done. And I just have to place the other 2 needles on the right side. Okay, and I'm trying to give you some more numbing medicine to make it more comfortable for you. I don't want you suffering needlessly through the procedure. Shot? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, need to be a little bit more south. Shot? You doing okay? Shot? Is he awake? Okay. Shot, where do you feel that? Okay. Let me get an AP. Shot? So we're right entering the foramen. You can see the herniation there is huge. literally poking out, almost touching the facet joint. You guys see that? I mean, if you look at the second needle tip, it's like right there. Yeah, it's perfect. So go back and take another picture. I want to show the audience and my patient for later exactly where that herniation is. You can see the herniation on x-ray. That's how big it is. One more. Yeah, we were a little bit rotated, but you can still see it. Show it to them. My God, that thing is huge. And yeah, right there. And look, show them where the facet joint is. The superior facet. Yeah, no, that's the joint. You're right. Come to the superior facet of 5. Yes. Show them the anterior margin of that facet. Yes. Look at, there's almost no space between the herniation and that facet. Huge herniation. We're going to get rid of that thing. You okay? Any pain in your leg? Shot? Good. Shot? Yep. All right, we're almost done. Then we'll put you to sleep, okay? So, second incision is here on the patient's right flank. So far we've lost maybe 10 drops of blood. So half of a milliliter. You're almost done. Just lay still. Shot. Why does that look like we're coming from a lower position? Doesn't it?
Yeah.
But we're really not. It's really the same. I want to go through the same incision. Shot. You okay? I mean, could we be wagged that much? Can't possibly be. Huh? What? Shot? No, I'm just amazed at the trajectory that it appears to be taking. Shot? Shot? I can feel the herniation. I'm bouncing off of it. AP? The nice thing is when you have a patient with a herniation that's pretty broad-based, the more lateral your starting point, the more to the side your starting point. Yeah, that's perfect. Let's go back to a lateral view. So it's a little trick to doing endoscopic surgery, transforaminal surgery. The more to the side you start, the more across the middle you can get, towards the middle you can get. That's pretty well known to most endoscopic surgeons. They know that. All right. Shot. Shot. Oh, that's a really calcified disc, by the way. I mean, not calcified, collagenized. Are you comfy? Sir? Yes. We're done. We're going to put you to sleep in about five minutes now. I just want to test these discs, okay? You remember this part? You've watched my surgeries, right? And you said you had back pain for how long? 9 years. Are you looking forward to getting rid of your back pain? All right. Well, we have two discs. This is L3-4 and L4-5.
Can we turn on the lights, please?
Turn on the lights, please, so we can see. Now, he has herniations on both of these discs on both sides. And then he's got an L5-S1 disc down here. Can you see that? Put on the OR lights up here. Can you see, Diego?
A lot better, thank you.
It's because it's light reflects.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect, yes.
Put that light back on. That was good.
Yeah, that was good.
All right. Are you comfy? All right. How bad is that on a scale of 1 to 10? How high did it go? 10? Okay. Is that where you typically get your back pain? When you wake up from surgery, that pain will be gone for the rest of your life, as long as you don't re-injure your discs. Okay, you're going to behave right. No heavy lifting, no bending over at the waist. Yep, so that was the L3-4 disc. Is that where you typically get your back pain? All right, so we have 10 out of 10 concordant at 3-4. All right. How bad is that on a scale of 1 to 10? Huh? 11? All right. You get to go to sleep. When you wake up, we'll be done with your surgery. That was an 11 out of 10. Is that where you typically get your pain? All right. Congratulations. We found the 2 painful discs, and we're going to unpinch your nerves so you can get strength back in your legs. I want you to count from 1 to 100 out loud, sir. All right, we got 11 out of 10 at L4-5 concordant and 10 out of 10 at L3-4 concordant. So basically, I tested the 2 discs to see if they're the source of his back pain, and indeed they are. We're going to start with the left L4-5, left 4-5. Shot. So the good news is, not only are we going to unpinch the nerves going to his legs, but we're also going to fix his back pain. So back pain and leg pain. The problem with microdiscectomy and laminectomy, they don't fix back pain. They only fix leg pain from a pinched nerve. But with this surgery, we can fix both. You can see the herniated disc, the outline. You want to show them the 2 disc herniations? That's the L4-5 disc herniation outline. And there's the L3-4. Beautiful, Jordan. Jordan, you have really taken to this like a fish to water. I'm impressed. You must really like what you do. Shot. All right. What are you saying? Everything okay?
Yeah, we're talking about the next patient.
No, okay. The last patient? So how high?
152 over 102. 150, 151 over 102.
You guys are saying 2 different things.
Diastolic 102.
Did you eat lunch? We have some Wendy's.
Yeah, so it's
So, but you're saying his systolic is 2?
151.
Oh, 150. Diastolic is 102.
Like he was laying on the floor in the waiting room.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, and he traveled. I think he traveled.
Yeah, from
So,
legs started at 20.
yeah, I agree with you. But does he take normally pain meds?
Just Norco, VIP.
Did he take it?
Yes, he does it morning and night.
Maybe you should take his evening dose right now. Yeah. Holy crap, is it really 5 o'clock? Yeah, have him take his evening dose now. Oh my. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Oh, shot? All right, good. Yeah, have him take his evening dose. Wow. Shot? Wonderful. Shot? All right. Laser? Wait, he took his evening dose at 3? I would say give him some Dilaudid then. Yeah. Sure. Huh?
I need live 1 second.
I'll leave it up to you. You're managing it, so I don't mind giving him some oral. Oral lasts longer. Scope on. But it, ultimately,
Come on, please.
whatever you feel comfortable with. Come on, guys. I need to see what I'm doing.
Right there.
Come on, guys. We really need. I can't see there. Can't see behind me. I need the scope up top, guys. Thank you. Laser. All right, we are at the L4-5 disc, and I've got my pedal. Our job now is to debride this disc, get rid of the herniation, get the pressure off the nerve roots, and debride the tear. The tear itself is what's causing his back pain. Interesting. It looks like his tear is, well, I'm starting to see some of this white cottage cheese stuff, and that's an indication of collagenization of the deeper disc material. So that's indicates chronicity, longer duration of injury, older injury. So yes, he said 9 years. He has a 9-year-old disc injury. Well, if we didn't have to cancel our cases from Tuesday, we probably would be already done. Any questions, Diego, from our audience? Diego, are you still awake? Diego may be having a siesta. Wow, this is quite impressive herniation. Yeah. Bit of an unusual characteristic, sort of a pinkish color of the herniation. It's interesting. Almost feels like a pillow, like a cotton pillow. So the goal here is to decompress the nerve roots or get the pressure off the nerves on both sides at both levels, to treat his leg weakness, numbness, and pain down the legs from the pinched nerve roots. The second goal is to eliminate his back pain by treating the annular tear and getting rid of the inflammatory tissue within the annular tear that's in the back where the herniation came out. And then the third goal is to allow that disc to heal so that it doesn't herniate again. And again, that is one of the attributes of the annular debridement, is that we're able to do that. Blood pressure good? I assume the last patient's pain is in his back, is that correct? So it's just the same pain he normally has? All right, but there's no different pain that he's now experiencing. Just want to make sure. There's not something new we don't. Yeah, thank you. All right, we're just about done with this disc. You can see the fibers of the posterior longitudinal ligament there. This has been quite an interesting herniation. It wasn't as scarred up as I thought it would be. So that tells me that if this patient's had a 9-year history of back and leg pain, this disc here must have been a more recent injury in the 9 years. There is some areas like here where you see the white and the yellow. It's all calcium deposits in the tissue. It's kind of an interesting, almost like a hypertrophic scar type picture. The scar being the annular tear, hypertrophic meaning an exuberance of collagen, but not super thick collagen. This area over here is lateral in the disc herniation. Just to orient you, the fiber, the laser fiber is blue, covered in blue plastic, and it's in the lateral part of the disc right now. And this patient has a very big herniation here. So I want to get lateral as well to make sure I don't leave anything behind that could hit the nerve as it leaves the spine and goes down the pelvic area. This is one of the sciatic nerves, one of the sciatic nerve contributors. So of course, it's eventually going to come together in the pelvic region and travel down. I'm not able to roll this thing where I want it for some reason. Okay. Good. Just about done.
Doctor, do you have time for
Yes.
any questions?
Yes, of course. I'm happy to take a question.
Okay, we have a question. What is the hardest part of the spine to operate in?
The hardest part of the spine to operate in is the cervical spine. But it really depends, to be honest with you. Like if I have a fat patient, I'm sorry, I'm nothing against fat people because I'm one of them. But the reality is those thick necks with the deep spines, the lumbar is the easiest, but L5-S1 is the hardest part in the lumbar. But the cervical spine, when you have a thick-necked patient, a really thick neck, my God, that's so hard to do. Because you really can't feel the spine down there, and then you have to abort it. So I would say lower discs like C6-7, C7-T1, cervical spine, it takes the cake, especially in a thick-necked person. And then lumbar, L5-S1, and thoracic if it's a really thick patient. A lot of extra meat, right? So those are the toughest areas. We're done. Let's just forget about.
Come off, hold on.
Scope off, please.
Lights on, please, thank you.
Steerwood. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
Come, Jordan.
lower cervical, and then L5-S1, and then thoracic on a heavier patient. You can go to a lateral view, please. All right, Luis, pressure here, and then I'm going to put the guide wire. Blood pressure is good. Needle is down. And let's get a shot. Good. Shot. All right, perfect. Guide wire's in place. Relax, Luis. I need to get this out. I'm removing this needle. I'm leaving the guide wire. Remember, we already made an incision, right? And I'm just going to go through exactly the same incision as I did before. Shot. Yep. So I'm heading up to the L3-4 disc. This is another bad disc injury this patient has. Shot. You have to wiggle things a little bit sometimes to get them the trajectory right. Like you can't be scared to like adjust the position of your dilator. I don't know if you guys appreciate that, but I'm always like aiming it properly down the sights. You want to make sure you do that. I can feel that herniation. It is massive. Yeah, it's big. It's big. Shot? All right. So I'm constantly maneuvering to get the right angle. I felt the herniation go back in. Look at that. Amazing. So I'll pull it out of the center of the disc rather than the foramen. It's a lot safer there. It's a lot safer working inside the disc than it is outside where the nerves are. Shot. That's it. Good. Shot. 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 This should be good. Shot. Perfect. All right then. Getting ready to do disc number 2. And remember, we are going to be doing both sides of both of those discs because this patient has horrible leg symptoms on both sides. Normally, we're going to go on the side where the leg symptoms are. But in somebody who has equal leg symptoms on both sides, you have to do both sides. Otherwise, they're going to wake up with same leg pain they went to sleep with. Scope on, guys. I need my scope on. Hello? No, the scope, this scope is...
Listen, turn on the machine, turn on it, yes, and then stand by. Thank you.
I need that to show the scope up there. Oh my. All right, so this is the second disc we're doing. This is the L4-5 on the patient's left side. Sometimes we can actually see the needle from the opposite side. This disc is, did I say L4-5? I meant L3-4. This disc is more degenerated, collapsed, arthritic than the last one. Look at those little white things in there. I think that's particulate matter from probably steroid injections. I think this patient may have had some steroid injections.
Lights off, please. Thank you.
And specifically, it's Deukmedjian, which honestly should not be injected through an epidural injection. Because the problem is with a needle epidural, you can't see where the needle is. You don't know if it's inside the dura or outside the dura. It needs to be outside the dura. But the problem is you can't really tell for sure. So that's why it's looked down upon to do Deukmedjian through a needle. Now we use Deukmedjian here, but we do it through the scope topically. So it's really topical rather than an injection. But that's what this stuff looks like to me. It looks like Deukmedjian, because Deukmedjian has a particular matter in it. It's a preservative, and it looks white. Dr. Edwards, you do any pain management stuff? How come?
Just facility pretty much.
You what?
Just the hassle of insurance and
Oh.
using fluoro and all that kind of stuff. You need a facility. I'm not anywhere consistently, so.
Could change that for you. My buddies went to Vegas one time, and They had this, I think, an anesthesiologist that went with them. His job was to keep them hydrated and maximize their partying efforts. You know?
People pay for that. It's true.
Run the IV.
And now the nurse practitioners have jumped all on that.
Oh, have they really?
Oh, they've opened up dozens of them.
Down in Vegas? Yeah, they would do like bachelor parties and stuff.
Actually, the hotels have an IV service now.
Really? In Vegas? Is that the only place in the country that does that?
I don't know. That's a good question. Could be more.
So, have you had any experience with that?
Oh, yes, I have.
Do people feel, I heard you feel better if you've been drinking and you,
Absolutely. When you wreck yourself like that, an IV does wonders.
Huh.
Give a little IV, a Toradol, and maybe magnesium. People feel great.
wow.
I mean, I should say you feel better.
So it's basically hangover treatment.
Yeah, actually, I know the guy. He called it hangover heaven.
Oh, by the way, look right there. There's the needle from the other side. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, last week we did one of these bilaterals and I blasted the needle a few times, too many, and it welded the stylus inside the needle, and I couldn't get it out. Yeah, I couldn't get it out. It was pretty funny. Oh, look at all that damaged disc. Gonna clean you up. Yeah, there's no other way to describe what I do except debridement. It's what it really is, a debridement. And you know, debridements are not something that neurosurgeons do a lot of, but orthopedics do. And what they debride is they debride tendons, menisci, joints, you know, to get rid of the arthritis in there and get rid of the pain. Any questions from our audience?
No questions, but a couple comments about them being amazed by what you do.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
What you should do is run our animation then on the causes of back pain. Like, why do people get back pain when they have a herniated disc?
Traumatic injury to the disc can cause annular tears to form. Pressure on the disc causes herniation of the nucleus pulpus through the annular tear. Inflammatory tissues develop within the annular tear, causing back pain. The inflamed annular tear generates pain signals. Additional injuries can cause symptoms to worsen. Inflammation from the annular tear can spread to nearby nerve roots, causing leg pain. Signals travel up nerves to the brain, causing localized back pain. Pain signals reach the primary somatosensory cortex, causing conscious awareness of pain. If you have a herniated or bulging disc and back pain, submit your MRI for a free review at
Yeah, we're still here working away at this disc, and you can see, wow, what a difference this disc is compared to the last one. That's a big piece of herniation that just came up. I'm unable to rotate for some reason, Louise. This disc is a lot more degenerated. You look at it, it's just so much more. Look at this chunky stuff down here, and it really feels the way it looks. It's just extremely dense and scarred up stuff. And the last disc, if you remember, was kind of soft and billowy. This stuff here is just a lot of scar tissue from, you know, long time injury, really old injury. This is the 9-year-old injury right here, this disc. And look at all that, just so chunky and thick. As opposed to that last one that just melted away like butter. This one is a lot harder to get rid of.
Someone on YouTube is asking, what part is the arthritis?
I'm sorry, they asked what?
What part is the arthritis?
This whole joint is arthritic. All of this that I'm working on, everything you see in this circle is the arthritis. Arthritis is inflammation in a joint. And we're inside of a joint right now. We're inside the disc. The disc is a joint. So anything inside this disc, inside this space that has arthritis is considered, you know, inflammation is considered arthritic. So you got bone spurs here, like right here. That's all a bone spur right there that I was working on. You got all this thickened material right here that's all scarred up. That's scarred up from inflammation from arthritis. So you're seeing the arthritis all around. That's what it looks like. Arthritic joint.
There's another question.
Yep.
They're asking, what's your favorite kind of cheese?
What's my favorite kind of cheese?
Yep.
All right, my favorite kind of cheese. That's a great question. Ooh. That's a tough one because I'm a cheese lover. I don't know how people figured that out. All right, my favorite kind of cheese is the kind of cheese on top of pizza. How's that? No, but really, in all seriousness, my favorite cheese is a mimolette. A mimolette. Anybody know what a mimolette is? It's a really hard cheddar cheese. Oh, look at all these herniations coming out. It's you can get it at Whole Foods. It's like cheddar, but it's like super dry, really hard. It's not a semi-soft cheese, it's a hard cheese, really firm. Huh? And it's really cheddary tasting. Mimolette. It's a bit dry, but that is my favorite cheese. What's yours?
They said smoked Gouda.
A smoked Gouda.
Mm-hmm.
My wife's favorite cheese is Gouda, but I don't think she watches my surgeries. Smoked Gouda is good. I actually like this Chipotle Gouda at Publix. That's what I have like almost every day. Because mimolette, let's face it, is hard to come by. But the Chipotle Gouda at Publix is really good. I have it in my Subway sandwiches almost every day. My partner's son got me going to Publix for lunch. I go there quite often now. And they have a good deli. And they have, you know, they can make sandwiches for you. In my opinion, they're really good. Better than Subway. Now, I have to be careful what I say because Subway could be sponsoring my son someday in racing. Yeah, thank you. Let me know right now. Sounds good. Look at all that scar tissue. All right, we're just about done with this disc. And this is clearly different than the last one. The last one was a lot softer, like a soft cheese. This is harder, more like a mimolette. Maybe that's what I thought about mimolette, because I feel like this disc is like a mimolette. All right, we're just about done. There is where the nerves are. And you can see how little scraggly it is still here. I'm going to clean that up. Want to make sure this heals properly. At this point, we're done with the decompression of the nerve roots. And we're done with the annular debridement. And this is all about just getting rid of a little bit of the additional grunge that's over here to make sure that it heals properly. The more of this devitalized, scarred up, collagenized stuff you get rid of, the better the disc will heal. This is again lateral, and you want to be careful out here because there's some stuff up. But I remember when I first started doing these, I didn't understand what this area was over here. But now I understand it. It's a lateral disc. It's in the foramen. You know, just superficial to that is out in the foramen laterally, and you don't want to go there. It's no person's land. Stay away from it. There's bad things out there. But otherwise, this looks really good. Let's see if we can see a nerve root, okay? Hold that. Let's see if we can see a nerve root. Sometimes there's a nerve root, yeah, but it's covered in fat and other stuff right there. I want to make sure I get all this stuff off. Let's get that laser one more time. So I'm just underneath the nerve root. I want to get just a little of the schmutz away. It's not compressing. Look at that herniation right there, a piece of herniation. It's not really compressing the root, but I do want to get rid of it because it'll let it heal better. That's all just fat right there. We're done.
Lights on, scope off, please. Thank you.
Good job. We're almost done. We're done with half of the discs. We got the other half still to do. I'm going to come over to the other side. So I'm putting a little pressure on the muscle. You always want to put pressure on the muscle when you take the tube out because it could bleed a little bit. And just a little bit of pressure. All you need is 10 millimeters of mercury. As long as the patient doesn't have venous hypertension, right? But 10 millimeters, 12 millimeters of pressure keeps any blood from the veins from coming out, and it basically keeps the muscles from being inflamed. Lateral, please. You're fine, just swing it. That's fine. Probably got to lower it a little more, but go ahead. There you go. Watch the scope. Watch the scope. Keep going, come on. All right, give me a lateral view.
We need that fluoro on the facility.
Need you guys to keep up with us. Where's my fluoro shot? I need the fluoro up there. Who's in charge? Come on, Rita. There it is. Somehow it's working. You're too south. Shot. So you're too south again. I would just move a slightly bit more north. All right, we're coming in on the L4-5 shot. You're moving while you're taking the picture. You haven't used the fluoro in a while, have you?
No, I'm not touching anything.
Yeah, but you're somehow somebody is. Shot. That's better. Shot. So this is L4-5. Now we're on the patient's shot. Right side. Shot. Good.
Yes or no?
Yeah, you're fine.
Oh, okay.
I'm just trying to think, why did it look like the guide wire was still there? That was weird. Is my incision too small? I was barely fitting this tube. The incision is like 6.8 millimeters. The tube is 7. Shot. So I'm just stretching it a little bit. Not a big deal. We're just trying to keep the incisions as minimally invasive. Shot. You can see the tube sliding down over the dilator. Shot. I can feel them moving as one. Shot. And almost done. Shot. Take it out. Perfect. Fluoro out. So we've got this L4-5 disc to fix, and then we're done with this disc. Then we got one more L3-4 to fix. Any more questions? Why don't you run the video on what the Deuk laser disc repair does exactly?
Back pain.
Okay.
The inflamed annular tear causes back pain. Inflammation of the nerve roots causes leg pain. A Band-Aid-sized skin incision is made. A small tube is inserted without damaging the bone or soft tissues. The laser removes the herniation and debrides the annular tear. The annular tear heals on its own. If you have a herniated or bulging disc and back pain, submit your MRI for a free review at www.mri.deukspine.com.
Okay, we're working away at the disc, and I was just commenting what a difference, you know, the way these discs look. This is, again, that disc that's, I think, less old of an injury, more recent. And I was just saying, look at all these chunks. I mean, this is a major injury to this disc. It must have been a massive traumatic injury for this patient, like a fall or something. You know, I don't want to assume anything, but this just looks like serious injury to the disc. And this disc injury is clearly younger, much younger than the other disc. The other disc, which is the L3-4, appears to be an older type injury. There's a lot more degeneration, a lot more scar tissue. It's clearly been injured for a longer time. Things happening in there are longer, inflammation going on longer. This just looks like a much more recent injury. The way the disc looks to me, the way the herniated fragments appear. It's not uncommon for people to have a disc injury like a herniation, like the one you just saw, and to live with it, you know, because they're told there's nothing that can be done, or they don't need surgery or treatment, or maybe they just live with it, you know, because it's not that bad. And then they end up injuring another disc and getting double pain. And then at that point, they're like, okay, I'm tapping out. I'm getting something done to fix this. He was offered fusion. And the surgeons in Georgia he was talking to, they were offering to fuse his spine. And he did not want a fusion. He wanted less invasive, non-fusion technology, which is not offered in Georgia. He's lifting his head up. Everything's okay. Just relax. You're doing good. How's he doing? You need me to stop and wait? Are you okay? All right, good. Our last surgery for the day is going to be a 2-level, one side, so it should be relatively quick. It's a what? All right, so one, just one side at each disc though, but not bilateral. Should be hopefully a relatively quicker case, but you know, once I say that, I'm going to end up jinxing us.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, I feel bad.
Sounds like he needs to be taken care
Of course. I think he's from out of town. Where is our last patient from? Do you know? Minnesota. Oh, he's a cheesehead.
Minnesota today, California today.
No, Wisconsin is the cheesehead. I'm sorry. That's right. Minnesota is the Vikings.
Kind of an insult to France,
What is an insult to France?
Say Wisconsin's a cheese state.
Why?
Because there's 3 different types of cheeses.
Uh-huh.
France has 356 types of cheeses.
I see. You're right. Are you French?
I trained in France and I lived in France for a long time.
Ah, we got to be careful then. So do you love cheese?
Oh yeah.
Oh, good.
Oh no. I've tried every type of cheese I've never found there. I've never.
And you like them all?
Yeah. I mean, each village has their own cheese.
Of course.
Ecosse and Maroilles and Morbier and Santa.
There's so many.
Yeah. There's a whole book on it. I have the book.
Did you write it?
No, I didn't write that book.
No cheese books yet. No cheese
Not
books yet.
Yeah, I just write about serious things like suicide and ketamine.
So why did you go to France to train?
Because I wanted to see what it was like outside of the United
Oh,
States.
let me just say something real quick. That's the annular tear right there. You can see it. All right, sorry. So you wanted to just leave the U.S. just to get out and see what another country's like?
Yep,
And where in France did you train?
in Lyon.
Lyon. Oh,
So
wow.
I did it after PM&R residency. when I
You did a
decided-
PM&R residency.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I decided not to go through with PM&R. I finished the year successfully, and then I happened to meet the ambassador of France.
Oh, my gosh.
He got me a post in Lyon, all paid and everything, so I took it.
So do you know a man named Bocuse?
Paul Bocuse, I never got to eat there, but he never met him. He died a couple years back, I think.
Yeah. Guess his son is my friend.
What?
His son is my friend.
You have to the thing in France is they save €1 a day so they can have a meal once a year at Paul Bocuse.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul Bocuse's son, his name is Jerome Bocuse.
Okay.
And Jerome lives here in Orlando.
No way.
Oh, not here, but in Orlando, yeah. And his son races with my son. Go-karts at the racetrack. And they're friends, yeah.
I'll be darned. Yeah, I mean, I'm a French speaker, and
I'll introduce you
I
someday.
have no accent or anything. Crazy.
So they own they own a lot of restaurants,
Yeah.
but one of the restaurants they own is in Epcot Center, the French restaurant.
Okay.
So if you've ever been there, that's his restaurant. That's Bocuse's restaurant.
Really?
Yeah. And I've eaten there, and the food is really good. Standby laser.
Yeah.
And he's a great guy.
He's a legend in Lyon.
Of course. That's why I asked if you knew him.
All right.
I mean, that's where he's from.
Yeah.
Le gastronomique.
Yep. It is the land of the gastronomie.
Yeah. No, great people.
Wow. Okay. So his son's into racing.
Yeah, his son is not. Jerome is not a race car driver, but his son, his name is Paul Bocuse.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Paul Bocuse. He's into racing. And he's a few years younger than Arias, but he's Arias's friend. And they talk to each other and hang out all the time. But he lives in Orlando. He actually water skis all the time.
Yeah, they love jet skis and water skis.
Yeah. Oh, look at that tear. It's just massive right there. That's the tear. It's like a bearded dragon. All right. So we were just talking about my anesthesiologist, Dr. Edwards, spent time in France, in Lyon. And that area is famous for a chef who revolutionized cuisine of France and really made it quite famous to eat in France. And his last name is Bocuse, and he passed away 2 years ago, as a matter of fact. Maybe at 19. I can't remember if it was 19 or 20. I think it was 19.
Yeah.
But his children live here, and they're carrying on his tradition. His son is a chef, Jerome. And world traveler, I guess. I think this patient's going to be so happy when he feels his legs again and his back pain is gone, but my God, it's taken forever to deal with this disc. All right, any questions from our audience?
Yes, we have a pretty long question from Reddit. It's talking about a hockey player who's debating whether he should get surgery. He has a herniated disc in his neck, and the team wants him to get an ACDF fusion,
Yep.
which is something that most teams do with their players. But he wants to get an artificial disc replacement surgery, which will make him the first player in the NHL to get that surgery done and continue playing. Is there a benefit of one over the other, and especially in an extreme physical sport like that?
Yeah, they're both bad. So we have a hockey player who is asking, I've got a bad disc in my neck and I need something done. The best surgery is what you're watching, the laser surgery, okay? I'm going to start out by just saying that, okay? The fusion is going to give you a nice strong construct. The ACDF is going to give you a nice strong repair, but it's going to cause the other disc to wear out faster. So yeah, you may get a few more years in your hockey career, but you're going to be back for more surgeries and then you'll be disabled, because the fusion is going to end up eventually putting you on the disability list. So I don't know if that's something you want to do or not, but if you want to play hockey and be normal, you need the laser surgery you're watching right now. You don't want an artificial disc and you don't want the fusion. Now the artificial disc, the reason they probably don't want you to get one is they do pop out. They pop out of your neck. So if somebody hits you real hard, they check you up real hard, you're going to end up popping that disc out, and then, my God, it's going to be like an emergency, and they're going to have to fuse you. That's probably why they don't want the artificial disc. Artificial discs suck. They fail, they pop out. That's why I don't put them in people. As a matter of fact, if you're really interested, we actually have a hockey player that we did this laser surgery on. He's a pro hockey player from Canada. There's a video of him. Do you know which one I'm talking about, Diego?
I'll have to look into it, but I'll look for it.
Yeah, that was before you joined us. Huh? You remember, huh? If whoever asked, the hockey player that asked, go look on our YouTube channel. There's literally a pro hockey player who came here and had the laser surgery, and he's so thankful that he did it. He flew down from Canada.
Yeah, this hockey player currently plays for the Las Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah, I can't tell you the hockey player's name that we did surgery on because it's a violation of HIPAA. But the Canadian player is a top player, and he's there. He's got a video on our website. We just have 2,000 videos. That's the only problem. I wouldn't do either. I wouldn't do the fusion or the artificial disc. Do the endoscopic surgery. Diego, why don't you post a link so he can watch the endoscopic surgery? Talk to your trainer. Talk to your agent. Let them see the laser surgery that we do. It's far better for you. You're going to have to give it about 9 months to heal up, though. That's the only thing. But you have to do that anyway, whatever surgery you get done. So if you ask me, if you really have to choose between a fusion and an artificial disc, I would do the fusion. Only because I don't want something like that popping out of my neck and then pressing on my throat or my breathing tube, and I can't breathe and I could die right there in the hockey ring in front of all those people. That would suck. I wouldn't do it. The fusion at least won't break. You'll break the disc above the fusion before you break the fusion. But that's the problem with fusions, is they break the disc above and below the fusion. Anyway, Diego, post the DLDR case, cervical, so he can watch the surgery and understand what I'm telling him.
Yep, I got it.
Any other questions? From our audience?
Yes, we have a commenter from Pakistan. He says
I couldn't hear you. A commenter from where?
from Pakistan.
Oh, Pakistan. All right.
Yes, he says, please tell me what is the functional outcome of laser disc repair compared to a microdiscectomy?
Okay. Yeah.
And can anyone be a candidate? And can anyone who is a candidate for a microdiscectomy undergo laser surgery?
Yes, the laser surgery is better than a microdiscectomy because the microdiscectomy, the surgeon is going to remove the normal bones and joints out of your spine. And we have a video that's just about to be released to show you what I'm talking about. You don't want to have your normal stuff removed. This disc is just blown, man. It literally looks like a bomb went off in here. Everything is just shredded. I don't know what this guy did, but he must have fallen and injured his back or something. This is horrible. Microdiscectomy is, how do I say it? It's so invasive that there's bone removed called laminotomy. They're going to take the lamina out. And then they're going to do a partial facetectomy, where they're going to remove part of your joint that holds your spine together. They're going to remove at least 50%, and that's going to weaken and destabilize the spine. So the problem with microdiscectomy is people keep getting more herniations, and then eventually they need a fusion done. I would not do a microdiscectomy. The laser surgery, we don't take any bone or ligaments out. We just go straight to the herniation. We leave everything else alone. Let's have a grabber. Does that answer your question? Huh? No, Diego.
He hasn't responded, but I'm sure he has.
I've never seen a disc so badly damaged. Honestly. Go back and watch all my surgeries. This is the worst. Huh, Luis? Have you ever seen one? So fragmented? Huh? It's unbelievable. The whole disc is literally, everything I can see here is just destroyed. He's still gonna do fine, but I've just not had to repair so much before. How's he doing on propofol take?
What?
Propofol use. Is he sucking it down like a baby drinking milk?
Oh, yeah.
Or is he normal?
He's using a good bit.
More than normal, or?
I'd say so. I mean, a lot of these patients metabolize propofol very quick, with the other drugs they take, pain meds and that kind of thing.
This is a perfect example of something called internal disc disruption. It's a terminology that hasn't been used in many years, but It is basically the inside of the disc just getting destroyed. Not looking so bad on the MRI, but these are all pieces of herniation. Louise, have you ever seen this much? Just doesn't stop.
The guy from Pakistan said thank you.
You're welcome.
He also said, how big is the incision for a cervical DLDR?
4 millimeter. You can post that. 4 millimeters. We did one earlier today. That was the first surgery. That patient already went home. He's actually in our parking lot, to be honest with you. Uh-huh. Yeah, I think so. He has his RV. Yeah, that patient that we did first today came from Tennessee, and he has his RV here. And there, I told them they could use my, I used to have an RV here. So I've got a pump out station, I've got a fresh water spigot, I've got electricity. You weren't here when I had my RV, were you? You were. No, it was parked on this side. Yeah, it was parked right outside the OR. All right, 5 more minutes on this disc, then we finish with the last disc. This is all scar tissue. It's a big old vein right there. See it? Grab her. How's our irrigation doing?
We're gonna get into that after this way. I don't know if
Yep, because we got one more disc to do. Grab her. So much herniation.
We have another question from YouTube.
Sure.
Is we have another question?
Yep.
Okay. They're asking, is Luis your PA? He seems to be your right hand man, and helps troubleshoot some thoughts. Seems like an
Luis?
amazing team you have.
I can't hear what you're saying.
Can you hear me good now?
Luis is not my PA, but he is my right hand man. But what was the question?
Oh no, that was it.
Luis is a doctor, and he's my right hand man. Right, Luis? He just loves his work. I didn't hear the rest of it though.
Alright, I'll read it again. They asked if Luis is a PA, he seems to be your right hand man and helps troubleshoot a lot of things.
Oh yeah.
Seems like an amazing team you have.
Thank you. Yeah, troubleshooting is a great way of, putting it. The reality is that it takes a team to solve problems. He's moving a little bit, and I can't solve everything myself. So I surround myself with good people that can actually help me solve problems. Good people like Luis. But everybody here is good. Yeah, we have a really good team. The nurses, the techs, everyone helps me solve problems, to be honest with you. Oh my God. This disc is the never-ending herniation. Honestly, I've never had so much, and you got to grab quickly. It's just a quick grab, yeah. Take it. I'm going to be here till midnight if we don't get something done here. He's responding a little bit. Yeah, he's coming up. Doc?
Yep.
I don't know if you want him that late. I'm okay. All right, that's fine.
You're almost done.
No, I'm almost done with this disc. I still have one more. Yeah. This disc is a never-ending disc. Just lay still. You're doing good. I've never seen that's 100 fragments of disc. Let me know when I can proceed. Stay still, you're doing okay. Yes? No? Maybe so?
You're okay.
Just about done. We still have the last disc to do. That looks pretty good.
start shaking now, please. Yeah, shaking. Are you good? Thank you.
This one disc was like 3 discs. Normal. How many joules have we used? 40. That is a lot. It's not a record, is it? But it's close. 64 on one disc? Huh? 2019. Oh, we're finally actually pretty much done. This crazy disc. I may have used more energy on a disc, but I've never, ever spent as much time on a disc. That's for sure. But some are quick, some are long. You just gotta be prepared to do what it takes, you know? Off. No, we're done.
Stop off, please. Light on.
One more to go.
Monica, come. Yeah, yeah. Right, come.
You gonna put a stitch on the other side? I got this. Why don't you do that? Lateral, please. Almost welded again. Go ahead, shot. Shot. Pressure here, Luis. You need to go a little more north with the fluoro. Shot. I was a little worried there for a second that I had welded that end too much. Shot. Shot. You're still way off on the wag. Shot. 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 Yeah.
That's the last shot?
Yeah, go. All right, let me do that. Are you closed on the other side?
Yeah, okay.
Shot. Let me have the impactor mallet. You can close on the other side. Shot. 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 That's good. Done. Yeah, get that out of here. Take your time, Louise. Start pulling it back while you're doing that. You may want to rotate it a little more. All right, move it out. Last disc of the day, or of this case. You should bring Flynn in next week in these cases to scrub.
There's no any much. The thing is the next page.
Well, to scrub and let Jordan or Monica do the. Unfortunately, there's a little more oozing with this case, with this disc. It's not uncommon when you have a little bit of bleeding because you did the other side already. Discs don't have much blood, but they do have a little bit. Yeah, especially in a bilateral case, it's good to have, you know? So he can wipe while you close. Again, this is that disc that's really scarred up. So, not like the last one that was a complete soft blowout, like a jelly blowout. This thing is scarred up from years. This is the 9-year-old injury disc. The other one is something far more recent. It's not uncommon for patients to have disc injuries at different times that are different ages. He's moving around a little bit more than I want. Just about done. I need 5 more minutes. He's not happy with this. You have him strapped both ends, Luis. Strapped in both ends. Top and bottom. right? This is the part of the disc that really hurts, so when I'm working on it, the patient's not going to feel good. Remember, we're only using propofol sedation. Patient is not under general anesthesia. So grab her. Extremely scarred up. What's going on with my irrigation? Okay. No.
We have a new question from YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Can mild spinal stenosis in the neck cause arm pain?
I can't really hear your question.
Can mild spinal stenosis in the neck cause arm pain?
Can mild spinal stenosis in the neck
Mm-hmm.
cause arm pain?
Yes.
100%. The reason is that it's not the stenosis causing the arm pain. Most likely, it's inflammation of the nerve root from the herniation that's causing the arm pain. Show them the video on the neck, cervical disc herniation, and how it causes arm symptoms. Can you do that, Diego? We're pretty much
Yes.
done here.
Traumatic injury on the disc can cause annular tears to form. Pressure on the disc causes herniation of the nucleus pulpus through the annular tear. Inflammatory tissue develops within the annular tear, causing neck pain. The inflamed annular tear generates pain signals. Additional injuries can cause worsening symptoms. Inflammation from the annular tear can spread to the nearby nerve roots, causing arm pain. Pain signals travel up the nerves to the brain, causing localized neck pain. Pain signals reach the primary somatosensory cortex, causing conscious awareness of neck pain. If you have a herniated or bulging disc,
3, 2, 1.
Okay, we are just finished up with the last disc in this patient. He was a 2 disc on both sides, and he had leg pain on both sides, so we wanted to make sure we treated the leg pain on both sides. I would call it a 10 mil blood loss, 10 cc's. I'm going to hold some pressure here. Everything went well. The discs that we fixed today, the 2 of them were very different in terms of their damage One was severely degenerated. Clearly it was damaged a long time ago. The inflammation happening in the posterior annular tear must have been going on for about 9 years, just destroyed the disc. That's what happens when you don't fix your discs and you leave the herniations there and you don't get it treated properly with the Deuk laser disc repair. The disc just keeps inflaming and keeps destroying the disc, and the inflammation comes from the annular tear in the back of the disc. The pain comes from the annular tear in the back of the disc, and basically it causes the disc to collapse over time and scar up and get all kinds of damage to the end plate, the cartilage, everything. So the L3-4 disc was severely damaged, and I believe it was the L4-5 disc that was more recently damaged. You ready? Do you want to come to this side? The L4-5 disc was a lot softer, more billowy, less scarred down, less dense scar tissue in the disc, so clearly it was a more recent injury. I think he's going to be really happy with the results. I have a ray tech off. Our last surgery for the day will be a 2-level lumbar, L4-5, L5-S1. Yes, L4-5, L5-S1. He's got a big herniation. Any questions? Type them up and I'll answer them for you. Dr. Ara Deukmedjian with the Deuk Spine Institute and another edition of Spine Scams Exposed. So we're going to be talking about a very common topic we talk a lot about because there's a lot of scams associated with it, and that is artificial discs in the spine. Now, artificial discs are basically small metal implants made of metal and plastic, and there are literally thousands of people getting artificial disc implants done every year. These started over in Europe, then they were brought to the United States back in the 2000s, and they are FDA approved. There are several companies that manufacture these artificial discs and sell them, and they are promoting the heck out of them to surgeons and hospitals and trying to get people to get them put in because they've spent a lot of money on this investment into this technology and they want to get the money out. These are for-profit companies. They really don't care whether or not the artificial discs work for you or they treat your problem. All they care about is getting what's called a return on investment. And that's what happens when basically New York stockbrokers and the stock market meets healthcare and medicine. Basically, you get a rearrangement of priorities, and the priority is no longer you, the patient, suffering, wanting good relief of your symptoms, wanting the best treatment in the world available for you. What you're going to get is what the companies that control the spine market want you to have, which is an expensive implant that makes them billions of dollars a year. So that's why this is a spine scam, and we keep coming back to artificial discs because there are so many people out there having problems with them that you need to know about these problems. And that's why we cover it from time to time. We've got a whole series now on artificial discs as spine scams. So why do people get artificial discs put in? They get artificial discs put in for one reason. They're in pain. Okay, they're either having neck pain or lower back pain. And these artificial discs can be put in through the front in the neck or through the front in the lower back. The key is they have to go through the front, and that in itself brings about problems because going through the front of your belly can create all kinds of complications. We're going to talk about some of those complications today, but I'm also going to highlight some of the viewers on Facebook who have been posting about their artificial disc experiences so you can learn from their mistakes. So let's take a look at this first post on Facebook under the cervical disc replacement surgery group. So here's a patient who says, I'm 1 year post-op from a C5-6 anterior disc replacement right through my neck. And the last few weeks have been the most intense muscle tension and pain in my neck, shoulders, and upper back. It's causing problems in my jaw, headaches, almost daily, and inability to sleep. So here's a patient who went in with one bad disc in their neck. They could have had the Deuk laser disc repair, and that's one of the reasons we want to bring this to your attention. You have all this pressure, all this financial pressure from companies that want to put those discs in you so they can make money, and that's driving surgeons to implant these artificial discs that don't work well at all. While on the other hand, there's a new technology using endoscopic surgery, tiny 4mm incision. We go in with a tiny tube and we actually repair your own disc We don't put anything unnatural in your body. There's no metal or plastic. There's no company getting fat and rich off of your surgery. It's all about you and doing what's best for you. The problem is most surgeons don't know about this surgery, and they don't know about it because they're not being puppet controlled by the big companies to do the endoscopic surgery. You see, there has to be a motivating force behind it. For us at Deuk Spine Institute, the motivating force is to do what's best for the patient, least invasive, most successful treatment. And that's the Deuk laser disc repair endoscopic surgery. I brought the technology over from South Korea, and I brought it to the United States, and it works amazing. We've done over 1,000 surgeries now on patients in the last 15 years with basically 98% elimination of neck pain and arm symptoms and even headaches associated with artificial discs. Now this poor patient here is suffering with pain in their shoulders. They've tried massage, they've tried the tennis ball, they've even had muscle relaxers which cause their heart